Here's a quick walkthrough of how to use Sygnal Marketplace in order to install code component libraries directly into your Webflow workspaces. To visit Sygnal Marketplace, you're going to go to sygnal.com/market. You can access it straight from the main menu of our site. You're going to need a Google account to log in. It does not matter which Google account. We don't use any information from your Google account. It's simply a way to identify you and to store the information regarding your workspace and installs in the database so that you can manage your installations. I'm going to log in using any account that I want. Simply remember which account that you're using. I'm going to use this one here. And now I'm in. Now on the left side of the main screen, you can see a very simple overview of the process that you need to go through. You're first going to set up a workspace, and then you're going to install libraries that you want into that workspace. This left menu also allows you to access these different features. I'm going to start with the workspaces, and I'm going to create one here. Now I've logged in before and I already have a test one. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this one Dev Workspace. I recommend that you use names that you'll remember. In particular, if you are also installing to client workspaces, you'll need that in order to know which workspace, which installations are going into. Now you need a Webflow API token, and you need a very specific API token for installing code components. Here is a Webflow workspace. My Sygnal developer workspace, and what I'm going to do here is go to apps and integrations and then manage. At the bottom here you'll see workspace API access, and this is where I need to generate a token. The token that I want here is code components, and I need the ability to read and write code components in order to install them. Simply so that I know what this token is for, I'm going to call it Sygnal Marketplace. Here we go. That's all I need. I don't need workspace activity. I don't need anything like that. You can do this with any account. You probably do need to have a paid workspace plan or a paid site plan in order to install and use components. So if you run into any problems, you can message me in the forums and let me know. But in general, this will work in any workspace. You do not need to be in an enterprise plan for the code components permissions. You do need to be in an enterprise plan for the workspace activity permissions. So only set these first permissions here. Make sure that they are read and write. You're now going to generate a token. This token you're going to simply copy, and you're going to simply then paste it into your new workspace account. Now when this is saved, it is encrypted. So you don't need to worry about anybody hacking databases or anything like that. You have your information is secure, and the only thing that workspace can do is install and uninstall the code components in your workspace. Now we've got our workspace set up. Now the next step is we want to install some libraries into it. Now currently, if I go to the libraries page here, you can see there are 6 Sygnal libraries currently out there. Each of them have a number of different components in different categories, and we're adding some other libraries from other developers in the Webflow community as well who have asked to be listed. And you can install any of these. Now, what I would recommend you do is go into a library by clicking on it and have a look at what code components are in it. You can see here Sygnal Components has an inline SVG icon. Very convenient for when you simply want to have inline SVG and you have the SVG code as an icon. You want to be able to color it. You do not want to have to create an embed for every single SVG icon in your site. This gives you a nice convenient way to manage that. You can also store the SVG content in a text field in the CMS per item, bind it in. It's very beautiful. Code components are very powerful. QR code generation. I'll go into each of these libraries later in separate videos to explain the use cases, but there are many, many different things you can do. Each library has different capabilities. But here we're looking at the one I'm going to install. This is Sygnal Media. It has a number of different capabilities. To do the installation, simply click on the Installations tab, and you can see which of your workspaces you have installed this to. I'm going to install it to this one, Dev Workspace. Now here I have the ability to choose versions. Typically, you just want the latest version. The reason that we've built this capability is that there may be situations where you install a new version of a library from a developer and it had a breaking change which affects something that you're using, something that you're relying on in your site. This gives you an easy way to go back to the previous version or even to an earlier one and then get the component as it was before the change was made. That gives you a lot of capabilities, that version control. And there will even be support for pre-release versions in the case that the developer is doing a special branch of a special feature and some people want to play with it. If you're familiar with Steam and non-release branches and the ability to try betas of different games and products, this is exactly the same concept, and you can apply it here. I'm going to go for just the latest version, which is the default, and I'm going to install it. Now, what's essentially going to happen is it's kicked off the installation. It has my workspace key, so it knows how to install it, and the server is now handling the installation. It will simply be done sitting in my workspace in 2 to 3 minutes. At most, it takes about 2 minutes typically for the Sygnal's current libraries and their sizes and complexities. So it's a pretty quick process. Once it is in your workspace, you will be able to install it in any site in the entire workspace that you want, as long as either the workspace or the site is on a paid plan.